Once, in a village nestled between the mountains, there lived a man and his wife. Though the seasons passed and the fields yielded their grain, they had prayed for a child, but none ever came. One day, the man resolved to seek the village's wise sheikh. Surely, he said to himself, the sheikh, who is wise in the ways of this world and the next, will know what we must do. The sheikh was sitting beneath a fig tree, old as time. "O sheikh," the man bowed and said, "my wife and I long for a child. What can we do?" The sheikh, who had heard many stories in his time, listened and then spoke. "Travel to such and such a mountain. A street vendor comes there sometimes shouting, 'Pomegranates for longing, pomegranates for conceiving.' Find him, and perhaps your prayers will be answered." The man thanked the sheikh and set out the very next morning. He walked for days, through dry plains, over sharp rocks, past streams, until he reached a fork in the path. He stood uncertain, scratching his head and not knowing which way to go. Just then, he heard the grinding sound of stone on stone. He turned and saw a Ghouleh grinding wheat. The man approached. He greeted her. "Peace be upon you," and to show his respect, he placed a handful of her flour in his mouth. "And peace upon you," she replied. "Had your greeting not come before your request, I would have crunched your bones so loud that my brothers who live on the next mountain would have come running to lick the marrow from your skull. But now you're dear to me. What do you seek, stranger?" The man replied, "I seek the mountain where the pomegranate vendor is said to walk. I have heard he sells fruit that helps one conceive." The Ghouleh nodded. "Yes, I know the place you speak of. But listen carefully. You will pass an orchard. There sleeps a great ghoul, his body the size of a small hill. One ear is his mattress, the other his blanket. He is sleeping and must not be awakened. Make no sound and do not touch the fruits, no matter how sweet they look. Pass in silence, and you may yet live." The man made his way carefully past the orchard. Eventually, he reached a small village where he heard a voice ringing through the alleys. "Pomegranates for longing, pomegranates for conceiving." He bought one pomegranate and made the long journey home. When at last he returned, he gave the pomegranate to his wife. She ate the fruit, seed by seed, and before long, her belly began to grow. Months passed, and then came the blessed news. She gave birth to 2 strong, healthy boys. They named them Hasan and Husen. A year passed, and the man decided to return to the mountain and get another pomegranate. "If one gave us twins," he thought, "who knows what blessings another might bring." So once more, he set off on the long journey. He found the vendor again and bought 1 perfect pomegranate, but on his way home, hunger overtook him. "It will not matter," he thought. "If I eat just half, I will give the other half to my wife." And so he did, eating 1/2 and offering the other to his wife upon his return. Months passed, and in time, his wife gave birth again. But this time, the child was not like the others. He was very small, only half a child. They called him Halfling. The boys grew up. One day, the 3 of them stood before their father and said, "We wish to go hunting." Proud, the father granted Hasan and Husen fine rifles and horses. When Halfling made his request, he asked only for a lame goat and a wooden poker. "Is that all you want?" the father asked. "That is all I need," Halfling replied with a grin. And so the 3 brothers set off. Hasan and Husen fired many times, but hit nothing. Halfling meanwhile crawled silently through the brush. When the deer came close, he sprang forward and struck its legs with his poker. "Give us your catch," his brothers said, "so we may claim the prize at home." "I will," he replied, "but only if I brand it first." They agreed, and he seared his mark upon the deer. Hasan and Husen returned home with the meat, and their mother praised them. When Halfling came through the gate, she scolded him for bringing nothing. "Check the brand," he said simply, and when she did, she saw the truth, and her heart turned. The next day, the brothers went out again, but rain fell and darkness caught them far from home. They stumbled upon a strange village, empty and silent, except for a Ghouleh chasing a rooster. "Help me, boys," she called. "Catch this rooster. He's been teasing me all day." The brothers caught it, and the Ghouleh clapped her hands. "Ah, brave boys, kind like your father. Come in, I am your long-lost aunt." She invited them in, tied their animals outside, and prepared a meal. "What do your horses eat?" she asked. "Barley and pure milk," Hasan and Husen answered. "And your goat?" She turned to Halfling. "Bran left from sifting and water," he replied. Once the animals were fed, she laid out bedding on the ground. Hasan and Husen went to sleep, but Halfling declared, "I cannot sleep there. I will sleep in this basket hanging in the kitchen. Bring me as well a water skin and a handful of beans." He pierced the water skin, letting it drip upon him, and chewed his beans. In the stillness of night, the Ghouleh thought they were asleep, so she danced and sang, "Oh, my teeth, get sharper and sharper, for Halfling, Hasan and Husen." Halfling called out, "How can I sleep?" "And why not?" she asked. "My belly has no food in it to keep," he replied. "What do you want to eat?" asked the Ghouleh, and he answered, "I want a lamb stuffed and roasted to a turn." By the time she prepared the feast, the sun had risen. "We need water to wash," the brothers said. When she stepped out to fetch it, Halfling shook his brothers awake. "This woman is a Ghouleh. Mount your horses, we must flee." Returning with water and finding them gone, she bellowed, "Oh, pure milk, thicken, and bind the horses' joints." At once, the horses froze. Halfling urged them, "Dismount, ride behind me on the goat." So they left the horses and climbed behind him. Just as they did, the Ghouleh appeared behind them, her true form revealed, tall, terrible, her teeth sharp as knives. She ate the horses in 3 bites. Halfling prodded the goat forward. "Goat, go!" he urged. "Oh, flint, spark and spark! Oh, Bran, fly and fly!" And the goat took flight, carrying them all home. Their father rejoiced. "You saved your brothers," he told Halfling. "And what would you say?" the boy grinned. "If I captured the Ghouleh herself?" "We would call you the bravest between your brothers," he replied. Halfling bought a donkey and loaded it with halva. Then he set off toward the Ghouleh's home. When he reached the Ghouleh, he cried, "Sweet halva, come and taste it." The Ghouleh poked her head out, sniffing the air. "What's the price?" she asked, her eyes gleaming with hunger. "Step inside this box," he said. "Eat as much as you like. We'll talk about payment after you've had your fill." She climbed into the wooden box. Halfling quietly closed the lid on her and sealed it shut with thick rope. She was too busy eating to notice. Nearing the village, he shouted, "Open your eyes, people! I bring you the Ghouleh herself." Hearing this, the villagers quickly gathered, wanting to be rid of her evil forever. Together, they dragged the box up the mountain until they reached a deep cave, dark and narrow. They rolled the box inside. Then all the villagers pushed a great rock to the entrance, sealing it shut. With that, the Ghouleh was never seen again.